Most people don't realize that poverty, for the majority of us in the modern world, isn't just a lack of money. It's a collection of habits, a silent, day-by-day erosion of potential, traded away for temporary comforts and distraction. You weren't born poor in the sense that your mind was destined to stay in scarcity. It was taught by your environment, by your parents, by culture, and by the systems designed to profit from your complacency. And the worst part is, those habits became so normal, so socially accepted, that you don't even question them. You live in autopilot, chasing short-term highs and ignoring long-term consequences, and you wonder why you can't seem to get ahead. Poverty isn't a moment, it's a pattern. Let's talk about the habits silently keeping you poor, the ones you don't notice because everyone around you is doing them too. First, your relationship with time is broken. Poor people waste time like it's infinite, hours lost to meaningless scrolling, watching other people live lives you wish you had, getting caught up in petty drama, and letting entire weeks slip through your fingers without building anything for yourself. You think you're relaxing, but you're decaying. Every hour you waste is money you'll never make, skills you'll never develop, connections you'll never build. Wealthy people see time as their most valuable currency. They guard it, they invest it. You give it away like it's worthless. Then there's the habit of making emotional decisions. Every time you let your feelings dictate your actions, whether it's spending because you're sad, skipping the gym because you're tired, or ghosting opportunities because you're anxious, you reinforce a cycle of self-sabotage. Poor people move on impulse. They chase what feels good right now and avoid what feels uncomfortable, even when discomfort is the doorway to everything they want. Your emotions are not your master, and the sooner you learn to act despite them, the sooner you start moving differently. Another one is the obsession with entertainment over education. Look at how much time you spend consuming mindless content. Endless hours of TV, video games, celebrity gossip, TikTok trends. You know every character in your favorite show, but you don't know how taxes work. You can quote sports stats from 5 years ago, but can't explain how compound interest builds wealth. You prioritize escaping your life instead of improving it. Rich people read, they listen to podcasts, they take courses, they learn skills. Not because they're nerds or because they had nothing better to do, but because they understood early that knowledge multiplies money. Every skill you refuse to learn is money you're choosing not to make. And let's not ignore your environment. The people you surround yourself with are either lifting you up or dragging you down. If your closest friends spend every weekend drunk, blowing their paychecks on junk, complaining about work, and clowning anyone trying to level up, you're already infected by poverty habits. It's not about abandoning everyone you know, it's about recognizing which relationships fuel your growth and which ones feed your stagnation. Wealthy people curate their circle. They seek proximity to ambition, not comfort, every time. You settle for mediocrity because it's familiar. You lock yourself in the same income bracket as the people you're trying to blend in with. Let's talk money habits. Poor people think about money emotionally, not strategically. You get a paycheck, and your first thought is what you can buy. New shoes, new phone, night out. Rich people, or those on their way to becoming rich, see every dollar as a tool. Money isn't for flexing. It's for buying freedom, for creating leverage, for building assets that pay you when you're not working. The poor habit is spending first and saving later if there's anything left. The wealth habit is paying yourself first, investing early, delaying gratification so you can build a future your current self can't even imagine. Then there's the addiction to comfort. Comfort keeps you broke. Every time you hit snooze, skip the workout, blow off the project, or avoid the difficult conversation, you train your mind to value ease over growth. And nothing valuable comes from ease. Poverty habits thrive in comfort zones. You know deep down you should be grinding, building, learning, sacrificing. But you settle for it's not that bad and I'll start tomorrow. You trade the pain of discipline for the pain of regret, and by the time you feel it, it's too late to fix it fast. Another silent killer is the habit of blaming external factors. Poor people blame the government, the economy, their parents, their boss. Bad luck. It's always something else keeping them stuck. That mindset strips you of power. It convinces you you're a victim of circumstances you can't control, so why bother trying? The reality is, nobody's life is fair. Everyone's dealt a different hand, but wealthy people own their outcome. They take radical responsibility. Even when it's not their fault, they treat it like it is, because that mindset keeps them moving, problem solving, and adapting. The habit of excuses is a poverty generator. Then there's short-term thinking. Poor people live for the weekend, for the next paycheck, for the next holiday. Everything is about immediate pleasure and survival. Wealthy people think in years. They plant seeds now that won't pay off for 5, 10, 15 years. They invest in relationships, skills, businesses, and health like compound interest, knowing the payoff is delayed but inevitable. Every habit you have that prioritizes today's comfort over tomorrow's advantage keeps you broke. Fast food over meal prepping, Netflix over studying, spending over investing. It's death by 1,000 tiny decisions. Let's get deeper. Poor people avoid pain. Not just physical, but emotional and psychological discomfort. They avoid criticism, failure, rejection, boredom. They numb themselves with distractions, substances, shallow relationships, and pointless drama. Every time you avoid discomfort, you limit your growth. Wealthy people seek discomfort. They run toward hard conversations, failed ventures, lonely seasons, and grueling challenges because they know on the other side is wisdom, strength, and resilience you can't buy. Comfort is a poverty trap. There's also the habit of undervaluing your word. Poor people make empty promises to themselves. I'll start Monday. Next year will be my year. I'm going to quit this habit soon, but nothing changes. Every time you break your word to yourself, you weaken your self-trust. And without self-trust, disciplined eyes, wealthy people treat their promises like contracts. If they say they'll wake up at 5, they do. If they say no drinking for a month, they honor it, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Your word to yourself is the foundation of every habit that will make or break your future. Finally, poor people have a habit of consuming before creating, always watching, always reacting, always following, rarely building, initiating, or leading. They wait for permission. They need validation. They follow trends instead of starting them. Wealthy people build first. They create value, products, solutions, content, movement. They don't wait for the perfect plan or the perfect mood. They move, fail, learn, repeat. Every time you consume instead of create, you reinforce passivity, and poverty thrives in passive people. So if you're stuck right now, feeling broke, lost, or falling behind, stop looking for a magic solution. Audit your habit, not just the big one, the tiny invisible choices you make 100 times a day. The 5 minutes wasted here, the impulse purchase there, the conversation you should have left, the opportunity you ignored. It's never one big mistake that keeps people poor. It's millions of small, unchecked habits stacked on top of each other, slowly suffocating your potential. You don't need more money to start. You need better habits, discipline over emotion, learning over entertainment, action over excuses, long-term thinking over short-term dopamine, building over consuming, pain over comfort, radical ownership over victimhood. If you fix the habits, the money follows every time.